Alright y'all, welcome back to LM Diesel, and today we're giving this black dually a major transformation. It's getting a 5-inch rough country lift, LED UR rock lights, and I think it's going to no longer have a Bluetooth drive shaft. And we're going to be fixing some other odds and ends, so make sure y'all stay tuned for this one because this video is going to be a banger. Alright, so we got our whole lift kit set up here, ready to go on. This is the good old rough country 5-inch lift, Old Faithful. A lot of people love to use these just because they're very affordable. So this isn't going to be a super in-depth install. Tons of people have made install videos on how to put on a 5-inch lift on this truck, as well as Rough Country has pretty good instructions. So I'm just going to be blowing and going, and I'm just going to throw you on the time lapse, and y'all just get to see a truck get built super fast. So enjoy. Okay, so we ran into our first problem. Let me show you. So I removed the drag link from the pitman arm here, and I noticed that somebody welded this pitman arm to the steering gear. Look at that. I never noticed that. So I'm gonna try to figure out a way to work around this, because the kit comes with like a drop pitman arm. So we'll see if I can't make it work without having to buy a whole, because the only way to fix this is to get a whole new steering gear, which I don't really want to do. So we'll see. Also, these upper ball joints are totally gone. Anyway, I'm gonna have to figure out a solution to that, but for now we're gonna go ahead and pull the shocks out and drop the coils out. Okay, so I got the shocks and the coils out, but before we continue, I'm going to give y'all a little tip. So as you can see with this kind of coil basket, we have some rust building up and a lot of gunk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it with a wire wheel, clean it up, and then shoot it just with some frame paint so that we don't have any issues with this whole thing rusting out. So this is a little tip I found from Greg A, and I think it should help well. Alright, our rubberized coating turned out pretty good. It's supposed to stop rust and kind of add a little bit of a rubberish layer, which is good, I think, for the new spring. So we're letting that dry, but now what we're going to do next is start removing all of these bolts, and so we can start installing the lift brackets. So very excited. One fun thing is definitely oil down your bolts. It will help with this job.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah, yeah, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah, yeah, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year. Yeah. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my pen ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem been better. Gotta keep on chugging, ran through everything in front of me. Might smoke bed in heaven, got a whole agenda. Can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that, it's no surrender. Got a dollar flipped up, I'm trying to get it in FT to get them in their hand and crypto.
Alright, we've been grinding. So, got this top bracket in, this bottom bracket in, which, by the way, I had to do some grinding here to get this to fit. Other than that, I didn't have to do any other grinding. Of course, had to drill the holes to get this in. And we have our spring in, so this is kind of an idea of what the height will look like, a little bit. So definitely excited about that. I also have the drop bracket for the track bar in as well. So all in all, this lift has been pretty straightforward to install. However, I did have to get some new parts, just some bolts that were just kind of worn out, you know. So I had to run to the hardware store to get that. Had to get a 7/16 drill bit to drill the holes. But the last thing I had to pick up is a lot of these trucks, when you buy them, they will come with a leveling kit. And when you go and install new coils, you need to get the stock like bushing. So I'm about to run to O'Reilly's and grab that, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so here's what I was talking about. This was the old lift block. This is about 2.5 inches or so, and the shock tower will sit right on top of it like that, right? But now that we put this lift in, unless I want to do about 7.5 inches, I don't want to use that. So you had to run to O'Reilly's and get the original. So here's the original bushing, and then here's the original bracket that the shock tower bolts to. So yeah, keep that in mind whenever you do this. If your truck already has one of these lift blocks, you're definitely going to need to run and get one of these. I tell you what, this has been an all-day affair. They say 4 to 6 hours on this thing. Nobody I watch on YouTube actually does this lift 4 to 6 hours. Taking me a little bit longer just because I had to do some modifications, my first time doing it. And, you know, it's getting close to the end of the day. But I did want to kind of show y'all where I'm at. We're really close to being done with the front. So, we got our coils in, we got our shocks in, we got all of our control arms in. We have our track bar in, as well as the bracket, and we have our steering arm in. So, I wasn't able to do the drop bracket on here simply because somebody welded that on. So, we're just kind of rock it like that for a bit until we eventually get a new steering gear. Other than that, everything is good. I think the time has come. Put the tires on this thing, and then I will adjust some more stuff up front, as well as put on the sway bar links. So, very excited. We're about to have ourselves a squatted truck. Alright, so I'm not even gonna lie to you, it's a couple weeks later and the front of the truck is lifted, but the rear is not, and that's what we're gonna be tackling today. We're not gonna do like a super in-depth install on the rear. Most of you guys know how to do this, but basically we're just gonna throw a block in the rear, take a leaf out, and then replace the shocks. As far as the front's pretty much good to go. We were able to get everything kind of put together. We'll end up doing an overview at the end of the video. But hey, y'all like my shirt? LM Diesel, link below, get you one. All right, I'm gonna throw you on the GoPro and let's get this thing done.
Hey, yeah. Be crazy, yeah. Ooh. Let's go. Chick so bad she never met Santa. She bad. Yeah, I don't even care. I never had manners. No way. Yeah, been a couple years. Yeah, I must have standard. I do. Hey, sit while you rap cause you just can't stand ya. Into my head, it gave me danger. I go in and the girls go crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, holding me tight till I have my baby. Say what? Yeah, I'ma be a player till my age turn 80. I'm a big flow tsunami, I'm wavy. Had to hum on with a chick named Stacy. I just hear a beat go beats, that's rabies. What's up? What's up? Really, that's me, that's up. That's up. I've been working on getting that buzz and finally refill my cup. Okay. I don't even have to prove. I did all the things I said I do. It's way too fun what the haters lose, and now I wanna make it just because I choose. Me. Now I want it all, that's luxury. Step up in the party, they bumpin' me. Step up in the party, she run to me. 300 a month, that's fun to me. I know a couple mans wanna punch me. All they ever throw is he subs to me. You ever see me out, they run for me. Chick so bad, she never met Santa. She bad. Yeah.
Alright y'all, so as you can see, we finished the lift on the dually. The GoPro kind of died, but let me catch you up to speed on everything we have done. And my goodness, we have done a lot. Okay, so on the front we installed our massive Rough Country coils as well as new shocks, and we just installed the rest of the brackets of the lift so that we were actually able to lift the front end up. It all went in pretty easy, not a lot of problems. I just had to go and get a drill bit to be able to drill everything, and then I had to get some different bolts for the sway bar links. Kind of weird, but for whatever reason the bolts that came for the sway bar links to attach it to the sway bar, they didn't fit, so I had to run to the store to get some different bolts for that. But no big deal. All in all, it went together well. There was no major modifications needed for the front end. So as far as the rear end, we did do some modifications. We removed a leaf out of the rear, which seemed to help with the ride quality. What you probably didn't know is one of the overload springs had actually already been removed. So basically there's an overload spring that is gone, and we removed a leaf. And of course we installed our Rough Country 3-inch blocks in the rear, and then surprisingly the U-bolts that they provided did fit. I did have some extra ones that were actually designed for that axle, but I didn't really end up using them because the ones that came in the Rough Country kit seemed to work. Just so you know, Rough Country actually doesn't make a lift for this truck, and specifically the dually version. The reason is because the rear axle is different, slightly bigger tubes and also more leaf packs, and so the U-bolts that they provide aren't long enough. So if you want to keep all your stuff factory in the rear of your dually when you're doing this lift, just make sure you get some aftermarket U-bolts and you should be good to go. Other than that, it was a pretty straightforward install process. The next thing that we did is I installed some rock lights on this bad boy. Now this thing already had 4 rock lights when we got it, but they weren't very bright, so I actually just moved them to underneath the truck. And then big thanks to LED UR for sending out 12 Pure Light rock lights, their whole kit that they sent out. They also sent out some extensions for me, so big thanks to them for that. These lights look great. They turned out awesome. Honestly, I'm kind of shocked at how good these lights are for the price. I'll drop a link to them down below. But yeah, definitely check out these lights. It totally changed the look of the dually, and I'm thrilled. The other thing we did is I finally installed the front drive shaft back in. So the bolts were missing for whatever reason, but we had the drive shaft, so I had to source those bolts, and I was able to bolt it in and everything, and it seems to be working fine. So we still got to do a mudding video to test out and see how well it does work, but the drive shaft is finally back in. Another company I'd like to thank is Auxbeam. They actually sent out some LED marker lights, and I installed those. They're not switchbacks. Technically you're supposed to have switchbacks, but right now they're just pure white signal lights or pure white blinker lights, and honestly they look great. I love just a pure white LED look on the front, so loving how those turned out. So big thanks to Auxbeam for sending those lights out. Also, you're probably noticing that the dually is like really clean right now. So I actually detailed it the other day, and Suma Detailing sent out their ceramic spray, and let me tell you what guys, this stuff worked great. It was easy to install. They have their nano coating that they put on it, and it's supposed to be like resistant to dirt, and it's pretty easy. Like if you put water on it, I'll show a video on screen right now, but if you pour water on it, it just goes straight off. You just rub it on, super easy to apply, and it's supposed to last up to 6 months. So with just an easy clean up your truck, wipe it down, it was an easy thing to do, and the dually looks great. I did it on the windows, on the paint, on the rims, I did it everywhere. So it was definitely a good move. All right, so as far as the lift, you know, a lot of people, they love to talk crap about the Rough Country lifts, and you know, I'll say what some other guys have said before me, they're hard to beat. For $1,000, your truck looks totally different, it rides better than it did before, and it's a quality lift that's not that difficult to install. So I don't really have any beef with it. The truck, to me, rides better than it did before, and I'm happy with the results. So all in all, it was pretty good. The only thing I still have to do is I still need to replace the ball joints. We'll do that in another video. And then I also need to replace the actual steering gear box, because as you saw in the previous part of the video, somebody welded the pitman arm to that. So the steering's a little bumpy right now because of that. I don't fault Rough Country for that, obviously, because I wasn't able to install their drop pitman arm. But pretty soon here, we will get a new gearbox for it. We'll get a new pitman arm installed, and then hopefully that should help to fix that kind of bump steer problem. But all in all, the truck has rode great. All right, y'all, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a ton of fun to make, and I'm loving how the dually is looking now. So y'all make sure to drop a comment and let me know what y'all think. I'll catch you on the next video. Peace out.